Michael Plusak here, and welcome to this video. This is the next chapter in our new sales era, and I talked about this before, about doing the things in a new way. Let's try something new, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We are far in the sales process, and now it's just about doing the actual meeting, and I say just. So what we will cover in this video is, I'm going to ask you, how was your week? I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm not going to ask every week about that, but you can learn from this one to the future weeks and your future weeks. And then I'm going to share some old ways of selling. And we're going to dive into the only thing you should care about when we talk meetings. The only thing you should care about. And then I'm going to share 2 ways to do meetings, 2 ways that really converts, and that's proven. I proved that. So I'm going to share with you the method that I used growing Plusai, the cleaning company, and I'm going to share a method for coaching and consultants and people like that, or companies like that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about you being ready to rock the stage. So let's dive into it. First of all, how was your week? Did you look like this? Which means that you should have done a lot of things, but you didn't. You were so tired. You felt a little sick. A lot of excuses popped up. You needed to do a lot of stuff. Something like that. Was that the week? Your week? Or did you pick up your phone and were you relentless? Remember, I love this word and you should too. Were you relentless doing your outreach, getting people on the phone or email or direct outreach, all the stuff we talked about, to get meetings? Because it's very important for you to understand. I know for some people looking at these videos and doing all the theories and like that, that's very fun and very exciting and all of this, but you also need to understand that where you want to go with your business, it's not about theory anymore. It's about you taking action now. We talked about that, but really understand, not tomorrow, but just freaking do it now. Just do it now, because it is now you need to do. Don't postpone anything. Let this be the most important thing in your life, because this is the beginning of your funnel, and this is where your business will start to grow. So if you did the 100 outreaches, then give yourself a great nice pat on the back. Just clap yourself on the back and say, hey, good job. And if your name is Michael, like mine is, say, hey, Michael, good job. And I'll clap myself on the back. Yeah, do that. Celebrate yourself. And understand that if you did, it's like you are even closer to your new business, growing business, and more money. That's how it is. Now, if you did not do the things, if you didn't do the outreach, I would really suggest you to do a debrief. You can do this with yourself. Just be honest with yourself. And one way of doing this is, number 1, ask yourself what happened. So you set aside time to do calls, to do emails. Ask yourself what happened. And then be honest and just write it down, what did happen. And then number 2, ask why did that happen? And be honest again with yourself. And number 3, what can you do better? And again, be honest. And here you might take a look at the video Massive Action. And later on in the program, you will learn some very, very powerful tools to really control your time and week. For now, what happened? Okay, look at it and well, I did set my 2 hours or whatever you did to do the outreach, calling and emails and LinkedIn. But then I got a message from the bank, or then my mother called me, or all of these things. So fact is, I didn't do any calls those 2 hours. Okay, good. You're honest with yourself. You're learning here. And number two, why did that happen? Be honest again. Say, okay, why did it happen? Why did I spend my most important 2 hours on the day, because that's the hours that's going to build my business? Why did I have the call with my mother there? Or why did I have the call or the message with the bank? Or why did I laundry the garden or clean my living room, or whatever stuff I heard people talk about? Just ask yourself, why did that happen? And be honest with yourself again. Maybe you'll even laugh at the things that you're putting down. Don't hit yourself too hard on this one, but understand that you need to change so you will do the stuff that you need to do to earn more money. And then number three, what can you do better? So for example, the point, okay, mother called me. All right. You could have a rule for yourself, and I would suggest that when you're doing your sales stuff or whatever project you're in, lock yourself fully in. Let nobody call you except if it's customers. Let nobody, don't look at the email, only the sales emails, nothing else. So if mother calls you, let her call 2 hours later or call her back. Don't put your mind into this stuff. Just be in your sales mode, nothing else. Same thing with the bank. Well, it's not now. They can wait a couple of hours and take care of it later. And maybe you wrote down the thing about cleaning the living room. Well, two things about this. The first thing is, why are you cleaning the living room when you are supposed to do sales calls? Or maybe you cleaned some place in your office. Same thing. Why? No, you're building your business and you need to do the calls. And for some people, I know that what is happening is that all kind of excuses are popping up here. And that's why we created, or I created the video, and you saw that about massive action. Because we need to take this action. You need to take it. You need to make that muscle grow, the sales muscle. So be honest with yourself about that part too. But don't take the excuses. Say you had a kid and the kid didn't do homework, and kid came with a lot of excuses. Would you accept that? Probably not. Kid needs to do the homework. So same thing with you here. Don't accept your own excuses. Be honest, figure out what happened, and then correct it. And if this is hard for you, then find a partner in the group, accountability partner, or one partner that can do the debrief with you. Probably there could be another person who have the same issues with you. And if you spend like 15 minutes, 7 on each, just be very focused. Well, if that's going to help you to do the 100 calls or direct outreach, yeah, that's worth it, right? Because you should do maybe 10, 20 meetings, and from those there will be like 2-5 contracts, 10 maybe even. So that's a lot of money. So now, if you did or if you didn't do it, just really make sure that you take massive action. Do the calls. This was not a 1 week. You need to still do these things, because this is your business you're building. So I'm gonna talk about some old ways of selling, and this is to really understand that there's a big power in the whole process we've been through. So here are some old ways of selling. Pistols. We talked a little bit about this. This is the guy or woman with the pistol in her hand and just like shooting at everything and shooting very fast. And then talking a lot. You know, maybe you get a salesperson on the phone and the person just yakety, talk a lot. And after 10 seconds, you're already looking for excuses. But let's say you actually had a meeting with a salesperson, and the same thing happens here. You have a meeting and the person is just talking about all the benefits, about all the good things with the company and the products and the services. And again, you go here, okay, maybe something does interest you, but a lot of people, what will happen is that they lose the interest and they can't really focus on what the person is saying. And then there's my way, and that's also one of the old ways of selling. Well, there's two parts of this, because I will share with you later on. We need to be the my way. We need to be the alpha. But it's like, this is only me. The salesperson, it's only me. It's all about the salesperson. And then there's, okay, the following up part, and maybe you also seen those people. Maybe you did this yourself, following up all the time. Okay, how did that go? How did that go? And week after week. And one more thing here. We did talk about this earlier, but in the selling process here, when you do the meetings, calls, I will do anything for you. That's also an old way of doing these things. We talked, maybe you remember the picture with the two boys painting all over the place. We don't want to do it like this. And then another way, the old way of selling, is very fast and very energetic. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but in the process I'm sharing with you here what you did and what we're going through with the meetings here, you will really understand the power of connecting with something different than that. And I'll actually dive a little into this now, because the thing is that I think I got it later on in this video, but we are different as people, and we shouldn't just be the same, all of us. So when we're talking about sales, it's important that we are, you could call it authentic, but I'm gonna challenge you on that one later in the program. But again, that we don't fake it too much. Sometimes we need to fake it until we really make it. But the thing here is that if we connect with the people that we're with, and some people are talking fast and really energetic, maybe that's the right thing. Some people are just attracting other people with that, and if that works for them, that's good. And again, I will come with some very good things here for this video about the meetings. Other people, they might be more like very slow in their talking. They might be a little bit more inward, introvert, and there's nothing wrong in that. Just play to the strength of that. So the thing here is, it's not only fast and really energetic that necessary words. So it's kind of the old way of a lot of people seeing how a salesperson was. So all you should care about, and this is very important to understand, when you have a meeting or a call or Skype meeting, whatever, where you actually meet with a potential customer, there's only one thing you should care about. Only one thing. And this is the trouble with the old way of selling. Because the salesman shows up, the salesperson shows up, and it's all about the salesperson, the company, and the product of the salesperson. Well, in this new era of selling, there's only one thing you should care about. And all you should care about, it's never about you. It's all about them, their problems and their desires. So we worked a lot about, and you worked with the problems and the science, and you tested it, and you should already be calling and doing direct outreach. So we just need to really remember when we are doing our meetings, don't put too much energy on your company, on your product, on your service. Listen, because all you should care about is, first of all, people want to talk about themselves. Salespeople do too, but don't do this mistake. Don't do this mistake. Here's an example. This is a drawing, a cartoon of a human being, and there's 2 ears and 1 mouth. So it's a good picture of when you're doing meetings, you should listen much more than you speak. Listen much more than you speak. I'm gonna dive even more into this. I would say even when we come back to the team stuff and partnering up with people, even when you are with these people, listen more than you speak. Sometimes it's the right time to speak, but be very careful because we need to listen. We're looking for problems and desires. So let me share a little thing with you about this. And this is the Plusren way. This is the way that I managed to close up to 50% of my meetings on a monthly basis. And remember, that was 2 days per week. Up to 50%. And well, is that good or bad? I don't know. But 50% in a market cleaning business is very, very competitive. A lot of competition. So I believe 50% is good, and when I talk with other people, they also say, well, 50% is good. So when we called up potential companies that we could do cleaning for, we told them that the meeting would only take 7 minutes. And they were like, whoa, that's not possible. And we were like, well, yeah, and if it takes more, it's not on our side. So that was part of our way to get the meetings, because time is always an issue. So I showed up to the meeting. I'll show you these things after. And at this meeting, of course, I greeted the person, but then I just asked questions. So, okay, how's your day? Or this is a nice office, and where do you live? And then, okay, this meeting will go like this. I suggest we do like this, and then ask questions again. For our sake, it was like, okay, so how many times do you clean per week? And okay, you have any idea how many hours they use per time? And go through the whole thing. I'll show you the checklist here later on. I only asked questions. Sometimes, if it was relevant, when I talked with a person and they told me, well, they had a dog, and I asked, okay, what kind of dog is it? And then I shared with them, well, that's interesting. I have a dog too. So we had a dog communication, and we connected on that one, because that's a very important word. We need to connect. I'll tell you that again and again. But the fact is, I asked questions. I learned a lot about the company. I learned a lot about the person. And this is so powerful, because when we connect with people in that way and still we control the meeting, they will feel that, first of all, we are very professional. I'll show you why later. And they will also think that we are, and believe that we are very caring and we understand them. And that's going to be a very big part of the process where we're going to give them an offer. So once again, I talked like my pitch on a meeting was no more than 2 minutes. Some meetings, they went like 20 minutes. Some meetings went for an hour. Normally it was 30 minutes in average. But I spoke only a couple of minutes. The rest was questions, and they talked. So that's how I managed to close up to the 50% of my meetings. And remember this one: to get bad answers, just ask bad questions. If you want good answers, ask good questions. But if you want to have great answers, you need to ask great questions. So when you're doing meetings, really think about what are the answers that you're looking for, and then ask the questions that will help you find the answers or get to the answers. And what are we looking for? We're looking for problems, we're looking for desires. We want to figure out if we can help this person, if we can help this company that we are doing a meeting with. And we can find out by asking great questions. Remember this. So you really want to become an expert at asking great questions and listen. Very important. Listen. Some people are very good at this. Some people are very bad at this. And if it's a big issue for you to listen, you probably heard this from your family or friends. And take care of this, because to be a really great closer and to build your business, you need to listen. Some people will say that they can just talk like a machine gun and they will still close, and some people can do that. But again, be an expert asking the great questions and listen. So some ideas here, how to do these meetings. Well, the old way is that we'll sit down and we talk for hours and we connect and we bond and we have fun, we drink coffee, we eat something, and maybe at a point we'll do business. For some people that works. And if it works for you and you're really happy with your sales process, then that's good for you. Most people that I talk with, most entrepreneurs and businesses, this is not really working. They miss the closing part. So the old way, we just sit down and talk, and the salesperson or the entrepreneur, the business owner really don't know how to close it. And it's going to be something like, okay, we'll figure it out, and let's talk, and I'll come back to you next week, and I'll send something to you, and then they wait for another week, and time goes by, and then it's just blowing out. So we don't want to do it like that. So the simplest formula for an awesome meeting, because you want business. And I'm gonna be even more specific later on here. So number one, state the agenda. Talked about being the alpha before, but you're gonna state the agenda. You're gonna tell the person you're meeting with how this is working. And trust me, if you are not the alpha, it's gonna be very difficult to close it. And one other thing is that if you get the customer but you're not the alpha, from my experience, the thing is that it's going to be a relationship that you really you don't want to be in that, because every time the customer calls you, you run around because they're the alpha. Every time they ask you for something, you run around. And I heard about business owners who had alpha customers, and the business owner was really sleepless at night because they were like being stressed up about this person. So you need to be the alpha. You can be there with a smile. It's not about jumping up and down and beating them up or anything. You just go very simple and say, well, if it's in a consultant or coaching meeting, you say, okay, how this meeting will go is, and then you just talk about it. You tell them how the agenda is. And if you are out on a meeting and looking at something and all of this, still go the same way. So you can do it a little politer. So you could be like, well, I really suggest that we do that. Or you can even say it like this. When I'm out doing these meetings, the companies I meet with, they really always tells me that they like for us to walk around and look at the building or whatever it is first, and then we sit and talk about what it is that you want, and then by the end we can just agree on how we can take it from here. So it's just a nice way of doing it, and then end that up with saying, would that be okay with you? And usually they say yes, and if they don't, it's up to you. I would suggest say, well, but my experience is that this is how it's going to work out. And if they are still going to fight you, it's up to you. You can do it, and again, have in mind that actually it could be that it's going to be a trouble kind of relationship. So, but anyway, state the agenda, and then again, ask great questions. And sorry for the language here, but shut the beep up and listen. Shut the fuck up and listen. Don't interrupt them. Be very, very listening to what they're saying. And listen for some of the words that come in sentences and figure out what is the meaning here. And then ask questions again. So what do you mean by? Or how long has this been a problem? Or how would you prefer it instead? Things like that, to dive into the problem. And let them desire your solution, which means that by asking questions, you'll understand what it is that they want. And if you can see you can help them, make sure that the way that you ask the questions to them, and I'm not talking about cheating here, it's very important. It's very important. If you can see that you can help them and that your services or products, your company will benefit them, then make sure that you ask the questions in a way so when you come to the offer thing and when you come to your pitching thing, they're really going to think, well, that's me. That's exactly what I want. So for instance, if in the cleaning company, if I was out on the meeting and they said, well, they only want Danish people to clean, somebody has it like that, or they want very, very tight connection with the cleaning company, they wanted to have a contact in the office, I took a note of that. And of course, we also made sure that that was how it's going to be. And then when I gave my offer, when I told my pitch, not the offer, sorry, when I told my pitch, by the end of the meeting, I went like, well, some of the things that we put attention into is that we always have a contact for you in the office, and of course that we have Danish people working on the places where people want that. That was the two problems that the contact in this company had, and when I did my pitch, I told the exact two things. I put them in my pitch. And this is like, well, that's exactly what I need. Yeah, sure. And if you did connect, then you are very close to be able to close it. So let them desire your solution and then give them an offer that they can't resist. We talked about this before. Be very careful about the pricing thing. I know some companies, they really want prices, but be very careful. I would resist that. I would really suggest for you to think much more about value. We talked about it. Think in value. So you can ask questions during your meeting. Okay, what is this worth to you? Or if they tell you, now this was from the cleaning, that, well, we have problems because whenever we come in the morning, I need to go around, this could be the receptionist, and I need to take the coffee cups off of the tables. They never remove that, and I need to empty some of the trash cans. They never do that. So my day just starts out very bad. Then you can ask a question for that. Okay, so and how does that affect? So you have a bad day. I understand that totally. I would have too. So does that affect some of your team members? Yeah, probably do, because I'm maybe not that positive as I could be. So they come in and they get a little demotivated by me, and I maybe also sometimes tell them some bad things. Okay, I understand that too. Makes sense. So your team members, they get dragged a little down by this too. So do you actually think this has an impact on your company, on your performance, on your maybe even finances? Well, I didn't think about that, but when you mention it now, I think Because of course, if I have like my 25 people in the office sitting there and they are not in their best mood, well, because of me and I'm not because of my cleaning company, of course that's going to make the day worse than it could be. So this is like diving into the problem, diving into the pain, and the pain is there. So we're going to figure out this, and if we can come into, yeah, this does affect the whole company, then it's really value. And maybe you can even get, okay, so how much would you think that would cost you? Maybe they don't know, but let them have it in mind. Because now when you give the offer, if they come to say, well, it costs us 100, 200,000 a month, and you say, well, okay, we can help you, and we'll definitely do anything we can to make sure that this is no more problem for you. And if it is, just call me up and I'll take care of it right away and do it. And then say, this is only 15,000 a month. Even though it's a couple of thousand more than they're paying now, the chances are that they will look more at the value. So give them an offer that they can't resist, and then put some in, like we talked about with the package. Put something in that will make them happy. I'll call you up every second week, or one of my team members will just have a short talk and ask you how your dog is and if the trash bin has been emptied and all of these things, and make sure this works for a period. So that's a very simple formula for an awesome meeting. So again, you need to figure out a way for you to do great meetings and then systemize it. This really means creating a template, and we're going to dive into this now. So I'm going to share with you 2 ways to do meetings, and meetings that convert, which means they will convert into customers, paying customers, which means money for your business. 2 ways. This is going to be the Plusren way, and then the coaching and consulting way. From my experience, what worked and what I helped clients to grow their business a lot. So some steps for this. You really need to create a template, and I'll show you a couple here after. Soon we'll go through them, and you can even download them and use them as inspiration. You need a template for the meetings. And again, like with everything else, you need to debrief. You need to track and debrief every meeting. Write it down, put it in an Excel sheet and say, okay, what was the outcome of this meeting? What happened? And then track every meeting. So you need to know your numbers. Like we did before, how many calls did you do? How many meetings did that went into? And then we get a percentage. And same thing with the meetings. How many meetings did I do? And how many did I close? So you know your percentage. Write all of these things down. For some people, I know that this could mean like, whoa, that's a lot of work. But trust me, you need to know your data. You need to know your numbers. And then understand, number 3 here, this is also data. When you're doing meetings, this is just data coming in. You're practicing all the time. You're practicing in connecting. You're practicing in going through your system and figuring out what to say and all of this. And every meeting will make you stronger. So again here, look for the pattern also in the meetings, because you're learning all the time. You're learning more about your niche, and each time you learn something, you'll grow and you'll get even more powerful for the next meeting. And then really relax and have some fun. It should be fun. Have fun with the people you're meeting with. So I also took with me here some standards about, and this is for both meetings. And I know these things, they're like, okay, sure, that's how we are doing it already. But just to make sure that I told you this. So there could be much more, but I took some of the most important that came to my mind when I did this video. First of all, if you're physically out doing a meeting, knock on the door a couple of minutes before, maybe even 5, but don't go too early. that's going to be a little ignoring for them. But knock on the door, and so when you are supposed to meet them, you already ask for them maybe 1 or 2 minutes before, and which means that when you agreed on the meeting, you're ready. And if it's a call, if you're doing meetings by phone or Skype, call them up exactly when it's 12 o'clock, if that's when you do it. Not 12:01, not 11:59. Show that preciseness, because this is telling them a lot about you and your way to do business. And for each meeting, be prepared like it's your life depending on it, because it is. It's your business and that's your life. So be prepared, so you know the person's name, you have your checklist ready or the template, and you look like your brand. And what I mean by that, let's talk a little bit about this, because I have seen people, also when I was in Barresso Coffee, the coffee shop company, I had meetings with some salespeople, and they came and they told me they were leadership experts and they could coach my team and all of that, and they would really tell them how to be very precise and all of that. And then when I looked at the person, he didn't even button up his shirt right. And I was like, okay, so a lot of stuff comes out of your mouth, but the way you're looking, it's like I really don't trust you. So make sure, if you're doing physical meetings, that if your brand is that you are really nice and smiling and very big, great service, enter the door like that, and be very aware of this. If you're like, well, this is more like casual, this is our brand, we're just like, we are the young people who is a little doing things different than everybody else, then look like that. Then that's okay, having a t-shirt on and like this. Just make sure that your outfit, the way you enter the door, is really like you want your brand to be. And also, when you do meetings on the phone, do the same thing, which means I understand they can't see you, but let your voice and the energy speak your brand. So if your brand is very enthusiastic and very energetic, well, that might be a very good way to do it like that in the phone. And if it's more like very tranquil, then be tranquil on the phone. You get it? So this is just so there's no confusion. Let it match for your potential customers. And then pay very close attention to all details. And again, this is like we're making a diagnosis. We're figuring out if we as a doctor can help them. So when I did the cleaning meetings, I had my checklist with me, and I'm going to show that to you. And I was really looking. So when I went to the bathroom, and I made sure that the person I was meeting with saw what I did, I put my finger on the top of a lamp over the mirror, and normally there would be a lot of dust on it. And I say, and I just took a note on that in my checklist. I'm making a diagnosis that, well, on the spots where they don't see it, there's a lot of dust. And I'm paying close attention to all these things. I'm asking them, okay, should this be done once a week or once a month? Is this okay with you? And then take great notes. Because first of all, you can't remember. If you're doing, like I did, some days 8 meetings a day, if you don't take great notes, you can't remember what happened on one meeting and another meeting. Some people says, well, yeah, I can, but I've seen those results. So take great notes and do it KISS. Keep it simple, smarty. Which means don't put a whole book in there. Just take the keywords. Your brain will remember it when you look at it, and it didn't take you too long, and you could focus on the person you're with. Because that is so important. You need to connect with the person. Connect. When you connect with them, The meeting is going to be much more fun. They will trust you more, and they will, when they trust you more, they will also tell you more about their problems and these things. And in the last part of the phase here in your sales system, when you're going to close it, it's also going to be easier when you're really connected with them. And if you agree on the things that they want, if you can help them, then promise that that's what you're going to do. And when it comes to the part of delivering, over deliver. Always do more than what you told them. Exceed their expectations. And let them feel your energy in this, because you are serious. And sorry for the language here, you're serious shit. Let them understand this. And then use the best of you. I talked about that a little earlier. Be real and authentic. But again, also, we can change ourselves. And if your brand will be changing, or you think it should be a little bit more, you got your vision and you came out to a conclusion that you're going to change something, well, change. When you change the brand, you can also change yourself. Be more of that which you want to be. And then use the best of you. And when I say that, it is because we are different people, and some people are very smiling. Use that. Because if you have a smile that just connects with people and they love you with that smile, use it. Don't be afraid of that. And some people are introvert. I myself, I'm actually introvert. I've been that all my life. Even though I was on stage for hundreds of people, I was still introvert. And the thing is, you can't be introvert and building a business. You can't be introvert and become a great salesperson. Just be authentic about it. And then believe in yourself and your product and services. We might have been talking about that before, but the fact is that there was I think I did mention, there was this survey they did among some of the biggest CEOs. And they asked, why did you buy with a certain company? And what they told on the top of the question, what came on the top as the answers, was because the salesperson really had confidence, really believed in him or her and their company and in their products. So if you go, well, okay, I might help you with this, it's like, okay, you might, I'm not going to buy anything with you. But if you go, well, certainly, trust me, when we sign a deal, you will be so happy about it. Trust me, I'm coming from a good heart here. That's what our client says. And if there's anything wrong, you can call me up personally. That's how we create business and contracts. So that was some standards, and like I started with, you might have some other good things to put in here. I just took the ones here that I really think is important to have in mind. So let's go through the plus sign way. I created, let me see if I can find it here. I can. I created a checklist for you. So this is the exact checklist that I used when I did meetings with plus sign. And now I know this is in Danish right now, but I'll go through it, and this is just inspiration. So I would really suggest for you to do it your own way. But first of all, like you can see up here, the top one, I'm just writing what is the company name, contact person's name, what is the date of the meeting, and what is the mail address and phone number for the contact. Some people might say, well, I know that I don't need to think about this, but trust me, if you're doing like 16, 20, even 30 meetings per week, you gotta have these things written down. And then keep them in a map and have a system to this, because then you can always look back. And when you're creating the offer, when you're creating the contract, all of this will be very important to you. So keep it very structured. So again, this is cleaning business. You're gonna figure a way to do this for yourself. So here put in, okay, How often is the cleaning? Some companies, they had cleaning like once a week, some had like 5 days a week or 7 days a week. Very important to know. And when is the cleaning? Some had it morning, some had afternoon, some had night. Put this in here. This is like, it was an idea that we tested out. So we had like a basis package, standard package, and an exclusive package. So I let this be here just for you to, it might give you some inspiration, because for some people, when I went through the meeting with them, I saw that this was very much about pricing. So this was like, okay, this would be the basis package. So I just put a mark here with the basis package. And then maybe I was with a lawyer, or we had a cooperation with Mercedes-Benz, the head office. Well, this was more like in the exclusive package. So they wanted it to be very spotless in there. And those up here, they didn't care about if it was spotless. They just wanted the garbage bin to be taken care of, and they want that it was vacuumed, maybe a kitchen emptied. So it was just a note for me creating my offer. So let's go into it here. I have like, this is offices. So we went through a company, and I'm looking, okay, how many offices we got? Okay, we got like 7. And then this is like glass windows inside the building. If they needed that to be cleaned, I took a note of that. All of this I put into a checklist after. Same thing, toilets, how many? And a question that came to my mind always to ask them, did they want us to provide the paper for the toilets, the soap, and the hygiene stuff? Did they want us to fill up with paper and soap and hygiene? And did they want air freshener in there? Standard questions to ask all the time and take a note. So this is very important, because this was things that for us meant that we could sell more, and also we can help them, because if it was something they didn't want to do, well, then we can help them with that. And when I say standard thing, it's like I saw that this was a thing that I should ask every time. So I put it down. So if I have another salesperson out and doing this, they had the checklist. They knew exactly what to ask for. Just follow the script. So we got in here meeting rooms, how many, anything special there, because then with this one, there was someone, they maybe want their whiteboard not to be cleaned, someone wanted it to be cleaned, so they had some special things about the meeting room. And then there was a copy room, the room where we hang the jackets and like that. So this was also a little different rooms. So always I asked them, okay, what do you do specific here? Kitchen, how many, something special, anything else, and is there a microwave, refrigerator, and dishwasher, and what did they need with those? And then in the other rooms, and how many. So you see, this was like a simple way to go through it. I knew what I was looking for, and then jot it down, take notes. And there's a sentence here. This was just a sentence that I put in. This is something that's powerful in a meeting like this, because sometimes in cleaning business, one of the biggest issues is that a lot of cleaning companies, they don't do it the legal way, which means that when we were out doing offers, I was out doing offers, I always heard that, well, we can get it cheaper at another company. So before we went into that part, I was like, okay, my data after maybe 20 meetings where I heard the same thing. Well, this is too expensive. I was like, okay, I'm going to take care of that before they come to that conclusion. So now this is in Danish, but I explained to you. So I said, well, to the person I'm meeting with, well, as you might imagine, the cleaning industry is a very rotten industry. There's a lot of people working without getting paid legally. There's a lot of people working getting underpaid. And there's a lot of company who promises a lot, but they can't keep up to their promises. I just put that in somewhere in the meeting. And most people, they say, well, I know. Yeah, it's in the papers often, or I hear about it, or something like that. Yeah, I always wondered how could they do it that cheap. This is just something that was an objection, so I put it in the meeting. For me, I went through a checklist. Okay, remember to go through this. Good. Some more here. Windows, how many? Some other things they would like to. Could be they want us to pick up cigarettes outside the building or clean staircases or something like that. Could be some other stuff. Well, they want us to leave the key at a place, or, and again here for something else. This is just inspiration, like I said, all of this. So very important thing that our customers like. They told us that. So again, I'm going to explain this, even though it's in Danish here, but then you know what it says. So I say here, well, the feedback from our customers is that it's not the price that's the most important. It's the quality, it's the communication, and the stability. And we are doing 2 out of 3 meetings, we're doing an agreement with them. So thing is here, I already told earlier on that, as you can imagine, this is a rotten business. There's a lot of not legal working, and people don't get paid as they should. Companies, they promise a lot, but they don't keep it. Down here, I tell them that our customers tells us the quality, it's the communication, and it's the stability. And then I say here, so doing business with me, with Plusren, what 3 things would you most like to have proved to be better than what you're having today? Or said in another word, what are the 3 most important things that you really want to be good working with me? So they could say here, well, yeah, I want people to do the job. I want to be Danish people, and I wanted to be that I got the checklist, or I don't want any problems. I want my boss to be happy, things like this. Here, this is their desires and problems, most important things. And then, like we talked about before, what is the value? So some people, they might really, they don't really know how to explain this, or they might not relate to this, but just ask the good questions. So, okay, so if it's not working for you, you got your boss angry and mad about the ones that you're having now, what does that cost you? Or what are the frustrations for you? How does that feel? Take notes of that. You really want to dive into these things. So next thing here is where I said roadmap here. What I did, I used my pen and I say, okay, so if we had a great meeting, if I felt like we had a great meeting, I'd tell them, I said, well, this was a great meeting. So did you feel the same way? Yeah. Okay. So what would you like an offer from here? Do you think we could cooperate? And most times they say, yeah. So I took my pen and I said, okay, this is what's going to happen. And then I draw down here. I will make an offer for you. The next thing is you and I will be on the phone going through the offer. And then tell me what's going to happen. Are you the decision maker, or are you going to talk with somebody? Well, I'm going to talk with my boss. Okay, I put it in here. And then I'll ask them, okay, how long does that take? Probably it's going to take a week or something. Okay. So when we sign the contract, you'll get an email and we'll agree on a date that we come by, and I get the keys, the alarm instructions, and we put in the cleaning stuff, and then you don't think about anything else. We'll take care of the rest. We just let you know how it went. We'll call you up. I'll put these things in small boxes here. We call you up and ask the first couple of times, how was it? Are you happy? And if there's something we should correct, we'll do it right away. And as soon as you're happy, we will back a little bit off. You want us to call every week then, or every second week? Oh, every second week. Okay, put every second week down. we'll do that for a period and then we'll take it. And most of our clients, they say, well, call us every month or every quarter or half year. We'll take a note. So we go through, some of them we did do that a couple of times. We signed the contract right on the spot. This kind of business is not that easy to do because they are not the decision maker all the time. But if you're with the decision maker, see if you can sign the contract right on the spot. Have the contract with you. If not, agree on when to have the follow-up call. So agree on when are you sending them the offer and when are you calling. Put the date, the time of your calling with them where you go through the offer. Put that time in the schedule in your calendar right away. Do it while you're there. So agree on, okay, I'll send you the offer within 48 hours and we're going to have a talk on Monday at 10 o'clock. Is that good? And would you talk with your boss to let him know this so we can have an effective agreement? And probably they say yeah. And then here there's something we also asked them. This is just like also some good things to take into the meeting. How long time did you had your current company? What are the biggest challenges with the current company you are having cleaning for you? How did you meet them? What are you paying today? And how long is your termination period? And then if they don't want to help you with these things, if they don't, some people they might not, I never understood why. Just tell them that you're here to help and you're doing a serious business. And you will be very humble and you're very grateful that you're here. But if they don't want to help you to help them, then it's going to be a very difficult cooperation. And we talked about that before, and that's a muscle. Sometimes it's the right thing just to say no. It's very difficult, but sometimes it's the right thing. I had a couple of times, I remember half into the meeting, I was like, this person and this place and what they're telling me, I will never be able to, one, do what they want, and two, I really don't like the energy. So in the middle of the meeting, I was just like, you know what? I seen and I heard this, so from what I already see now, I actually think this is no match. It's better for you to find someone else. I thank you a lot for your time. I'll be moving on and I wouldn't take up any more of your time. And I had people saying, whoa, let's go through it. I like you and all of that. And then they changed. How can I improve? They even asked. And I had other people say, well, that's okay, no problem. So sometimes it's if you really have that feeling or if you really see this is not going to work, just be honest and tell them. And again here, this is price, because this was really a price, very competitive market to be in. So this was also something for salespeople to say. We could say, okay, I understand money is often an issue. So we can send in people who really deliver some super cleaning service and you'll be very satisfied. But if you don't want to pay for that, I really think you should go and find someone else. Might be they're not as good, as effective, as friendly and professional as us, and I would love to cooperate, but I'm doing real serious business here. Just be like that. And maybe they say, well, okay, but we can't pay for it. That's okay. We don't want that business. We want business that makes sense for us. I hope this makes sense. So again, this was to help you. Took a lot of time here to go through it, but it's very important that you understand the structure of it. Again, this was cleaning business. Might be your business is more simple or less simple. You should do a template. Doesn't need to look like this, but that is simple and that is easy to go through and that will help you on all the meetings and help you look very professional because that's what you are. So let's continue here. And again, that checklist is downloadable for you, so you can just take it down and work with it. It's a Word document. So the PlusRain meetings. What we did, and here's some inspiration for you, is that when one of my salespeople, they had agreed on a meeting, we sent them an email confirming the date and that I would be there. What I also did was I put a small video in there. Nothing fancy, just me. I was there in a shirt and I was just like, well, I understand we're going to meet. I look so much forward. I built this business from the bottom, and we are founded. Our foundation is super cleaning. We're professionals, and we're really looking for very good companies to work with. So kind of a couple of minutes, and then I also stated in that video, so when I come out and see you, what we'll do is I'm just going to greet you, and then we'll go through your office. I'm going to listen, I'm going to understand, and then by the end of it we can agree if we are going to send you an offer and what it takes from there. So already at that point they got a warm welcome, and they also got like the template of how the meeting would be. It helps them. It makes it look different, and also it looks very professional. So it's a 2-minute video. I recorded it on my phone, and I just put it in the email. And of course I had a template for the email. I'll show you these things later. So then one day before the meeting or at the meeting, depending a little bit on the time we were in, we sent them one more email just saying we're looking forward. The salesperson did that. And then again on the meeting, it's what we went through. I'm just really want to make sure that you got this. We staked the agenda. I said this is how it's going to be. Ask about them, and if this is something where we're like in cleaning or painting or something like that, really go into and figure out, really understand them. Find out where the problem is, what they want, what is their desire, and can we help them? Once again, if there's no match, just be honest. Sometimes it's also the right thing to say, sure, we can help, and then figure out how to do it. But again, be careful with these decisions, because it could make you spend a lot of time on helping one client while you could have put all the other clients in your system. Then agree on when the offer and when best, and set up a time to go through it. And then after the meeting, what we did was right away we just sent them an email. The salesperson did that. That was also from a template saying thank you for the meeting. I understand that you had a very great meeting and that you wanted an offer, and we are looking forward to send that to you. So make it a great day, and if there's anything, just ask me. Very nice, very professional and energetic, because that was how the brand was. So then we sent the offer to them when it's ready. And of course we have a template for that too. And if we promised you'll have that by Tuesday, we'll send it to them on Monday. Really do your best to deliver before, to do more than what they want. Be very sharp with these things, because this gives them a very like, okay, this guy or this girl, she means business. So some good advices here. That's how we did it. Now I got a little funny painter story. I used to do this story on the seminars when I was in Barresso. I remember that we were opening one of our shops in the middle of Copenhagen, and there was this guy, an entrepreneur, and he was on the phone with someone. He actually signed a deal with them by phone. This guy, he wrote with his pen on the wall. He said, okay, we're going to meet that day and we're going to sign the contract, and so he wrote it on the wall because he was not prepared. It's okay, the phone rang in the middle of him being in the shop. So his contract details was on the wall. This guy was very like all over the place. He was a butterfly, just a very energetic one. And 2 minutes after, he turned around and he was helping someone, and then came the painter. Now it was not green painting, but the painter just painted the wall. All of the guy's contract detail, this was not a small contract, the painter just painted over them. Painter had no clue that what important what was on the wall. So this contractor, he forgot all about that. And I heard him I think that was a couple of days later, on the phone, and he was just red in his face because probably it was the same guy that he talked with before, and this was like €1 million deal. And he said, well, I did take the notes. I'm so sorry, but I can't find the notes. I was in the middle of something when you called me and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sure. You had a good note taking here on the wall. So I don't know what happened if he got the contract, but anyway, it's just a very, for me, funny story about how not to do it. So we want to be professional here. Make sense? Cool. So the checklist, we just went through it, and you can download it once more. So no more talking about that. That was actually the whole thing with the PlusRein meeting. I hope hope is a bad word. I'm gonna learn that, but I trust that you will get some good learnings out of this and some inspirations. And again, like going in an office and doing a lot of cleaning, it might be your business is more simple than that, or it might be that it's not. It's inspiration. Inspiration. Very important that you have a structure, a system. So then there's another way of doing meetings, and this is like for coaching consultants or something like that. And there's two ways here. There's the call or there's the meeting. And I know what I would suggest to you, because that's the first one here, the very effective funnel. There's only 2 steps. First contact, set up the meeting, and on the meeting you agree. So you just sign them in on the meeting, because that's like, boom, that's how we work. Let's move on. We're doing business here. So I'm going to share this process with you. And again, some say, well, I want to go out there and do the meeting. But think about it. If you're driving and spending maybe 1 hour or something like that in the car, getting back and forward, that's going to take a lot of the time in that day for you, when you could have been on the phone. No driving, you just put in the number, you have time to sit with your desk, and you can take the notes and be prepared, and you're good to put it in a map after. It's not all businesses that can do it like that, but really think if that would be possible for you. Do meetings on the phone or on Skype and make the contract right away. So let's dive into this one. This one, first of all, you gotta promise me something, and that is the template I'm using. I'm telling you now is very powerful. So you should not do this if you can't help people. Only when you know that you can help them, and it's so, like I said, deadly effective. Always come from a good heart with this one. You don't want to say yes to people that you can't help. And again here, this is all about the problems and desires of our potential customer or client. And stick 100% to your plan. Talked about it earlier in this video, how to do the meetings. You set up your plan and stick 100% to that plan. And then connect 1,000% with the potential customer or client. Really connect with them. Because what you want to do is you want to connect with them and understand their feelings and their pain. And then be careful about thinking like, okay, I really want this one. Release that. Release that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on. So let's find this template here. I did a template for you. This is also downloadable. Let's just go to the top here. Yes. So this is for like a coaching consultant meeting or call. If I was you, I would really figure out how to do it on a call instead. So first of all, prepare yourself. And now I said 7 minutes here, but make sure that you're alone, nothing to disturb you. Have your headphones on. And why headphones? Because then you don't need to put your hand on the phone and you will sit with a strange head. Headphones on, you can move your arms around and the energy will be much more free. Have the template or the survey, whatever, sorry, not template, have the survey, the details about the potential customer ready, so you know as much as possible from them. And when I say survey here, it's like most of my clients, they fill out a survey, so I know who they are and I can prepare myself a little, and I make sure that this is people that looks like I can help them. Can be a very good idea to do a survey like that. Maybe even just send it to them before the meeting, or put it on a landing page or something like that. And then your template, which means like I went through the checklist for the cleaning business meeting, have a template for the call ready. And I'll show you one way of doing this. Pen and paper, of course. And then going into this call, be calm. Very important. And very important to remember that, because on the phone, even more, they can't see you, and that's a very powerful tool. They feel what you feel. So if they are excited, you'll be a little excited. Sorry, if you are excited, they'll be excited. If you begin to think that, oh, this guy doesn't have money, that will affect them. If you begin to feel nervous, that's going to affect them. So be as calm as possible. And really in this one, it's even more important to figure out where they are now. A, you remember we did that exercise, and where they want to go. B, and then you want to figure out if you are the vehicle who can help them get to B. And if there's no match, just be honest. Don't take anyone in that you can't help. It's not worth it. So let me go through this. First of all, have like a 2-minute small chat. Just connect with them, but not more. They are also there for, they know this is kind of making a decision whether you're going to do business together. And again here, be the alpha. So tell them how this call or how this meeting will go is, and then tell them your plan. And then you could end this with saying something like this: if I see I can help you, then in the second half of this call or meeting, I will tell you what I do, and you can ask how it works, and then we can decide if we will work together. Just wait for the okay. And you don't need to be very energetic or anything, just tell it very nice and easy. So, great questions when they said okay here. Very important. Let them say okay. And actually one thing, because this happened for me a couple of times. If people are like, well, I want to do it in another way and all of that, just be very nice. And again, as I said with the cleaning example, be the alpha. As I said, okay, but how this call will go is, and if they are still going like, yeah, but I want to go do it my way, or go a couple of times. And if they keep coming back to that, then say, you know what? I already see this is not a match, so let's spare the time, and I just wish you a great day. Goodbye. Stop it right away. Make sure you are the alpha, because if they are, they will never be. First of all, it's going to be very difficult to close, and second of all, it will not be a great relationship. So, next one. Why are they here? Why are they on the call or on the meeting with you? Just ask them what motivated them. And already here, they might say, well, this is because of the email you sent, or you told me in the phone on our call chat that you are helping businesses grow, or you told that you are helping people with finding their shoulder pains, whatever. So they will tell you that, and then dive into that already now. Ask them questions. See if you can find it already now, because it could be some golden nuggets here. Going like, okay, so tell me more about your shoulder problem. Yeah, I had this for it's been a long time now, and it's just like it's really hurting me, and It's not very nice. Okay, so how long did that? Oh, it's been actually 1 year now. Whoa, that's a long time. Don't say too much, just ask the questions. Let them feel their own pain here and let them tell you the problems and desires they have. Very important. So after that, and all through this script, this way of doing it, ask a question, shut up, listen. And it doesn't matter if it takes a couple of seconds, just let the silence be there, because the silence is the part where they will really feel what they're talking about. So let the silence be there. And then we go to the next one. Figure out where they are right now. That's the A thing. So ask questions about, if it's a business, ask about their business. And of course, relate the questions to the things that you can help them with, because they know from the beginning that's what you're doing. So we know that. Don't need to talk about anything else. And it could also be people when it's life stuff. Still same, you maybe have a meeting with someone, maybe you're a coach and you're a life coach. Well, then it's not a business. You can maybe not talk about money, but then you can talk about their life, the things that you're helping them with. Ask great questions to find into where the problems are, where they are right now. Things that relate to your theory. And you want to get as clear a picture as possible about their situation, because this is here where you actually begin to understand if you can help them. So ask into the problem areas and listen. Get a great clear picture of the person you're talking with and where they are right now. And ask specific numbers is very important. So if it's a business and if you help them with sickness, get really the specific number. How much does that sickness cost your company? And if you can help them grow their business, well, ask them exactly where they are. We want those numbers. And again, if it's a person, well, you could ask them how long has this been like that, or if it's a shoulder pain on a scale 1 to 10, how much does this pain affect you, or something like that. We just want a clear number. The next part is we want to figure out where they want to go to. That's B, and that's their desire. So this is a little depending, or a lot depending actually, on your program, your offer, and your solution. But what you want to figure out is here, you can ask them questions. So tell me, where do you want to be in 12 months or 6 months or 2 years? Whatever is good for you. Where do you want to be? And here, connect with them and really feel into this with them. So if it's a shoulder pain, well, I would love not having this shoulder pain anymore, that I could move freely, that I could do my exercises again. And then ask more questions. So why do you want this? How would that make you feel? And really connect with them. And you don't give stories or anything, you just ask the questions. Very important too. So now we got, where are they now? Where do they want to go? So now we are beginning to see, okay, can I help this person? Then we're going to the next part. What's holding them back? Why can't they make it on their own? Just ask them directly. Well, you contacted me or you agreed on this meeting, so tell me what's holding you back on getting there by yourself. And just listen. Could be that they say, well, I can't do it, I don't know how to, or something like that. That means that you could well be the vehicle to help them. Then the next part is turn it all around and let them describe their own pain. So it could be something like, why don't you just stay where you are? You're on the call and you're figuring out how to help them. Now you're turning it all around. And if they are a potential client, customer, here it's very interesting, because they will dive into saying, well, no, I can't live with this pain anymore. Could be the shoulder pain problem. And then you could ask more into and really feel together with them. Well, how does that affect you? Really, this pain in your shoulder, how does that affect you? Or really, well, not having that body that you want, how does that affect you? Let them get very into emotions here. And then these two questions, when do we want to change it? Probably they will say now. And then you ask, okay, I understand you're saying you want to change it now, but tell me, how committed are you? Figure out if the person really is going to do the job. So again here, you know this one, because maybe you're doing it all for them. If you're doing that, that's good for you right where you are now. We want to take you to another step where they are doing as much work as possible. But maybe you're delivering the whole thing for them. As a coach or consultant, they need to do some work too, probably. So just ask them, how committed are they? How committed are you? Because we want to make sure it's people who will do the push-ups, who will do the work. These people are the people we can help. So if you're doing all the work for them, then maybe you don't need to ask this question. But we want to look, and you want to put yourself in a place where, as a coach or consultant, you don't do the whole thing for them. And then comes the closing part. If they say, well, I am 100% committed, okay, cool. So we go into the closing part and we say like, okay, put their name in sometimes. Okay, Thomas, I can surely, or I can definitely help you. Would you like to know what I do? And then wait and let them say, yeah. Just wait. Don't just be the pistol man here. And then tell them, but in like the sentence that we created. Don't go into details here, because this will trigger a whole new part of their brain. We don't want to go there. So just tell them, I help. Could be me and say, I help business owners growing their business by implementing proven strategies. Or it could be that we have the painter example. So I help painters relieving their shoulder pains by putting them into a 6-week program. Just tell them that like that. Then they will begin to ask you a question. If you do this correctly, they will ask you the question, how does that work? Or how can I work with you? Or tell me a little bit more about it. And then you tell them your offer. That's what we created before. And here you're going to tell it so it's very specific so they can see you are the vehicle who will get them from A to B, fast and effective. That they will see you solve their problem. That you will bring value to them. Create a strong offer there, and maximum 2 minutes. I would say even go for 1 minute. Very short. Just the things that you took note of during the call with them or the meeting. That's their problems. If you know your program or what you're doing can help them, put that in here specific to them. What you want is that when you're finished presenting your offer, you want them to sit and think, whoa, that's me. That's exactly what I need. And then let them ask questions again. Here can be made more specific, like, okay, so how does it work? Or if it's a program, how long is it? How much time are we spending together? Things like that, but let them ask. This is the big thing about this, which is the whole new way of doing it. Let them be the ones that ask. Don't put a lot of stuff in their heads. You don't know what they want, so let them just ask. And if there comes no questions, just sit with the silence. Sit with the silence. And it can be a long time. Trust me, I know about these things, but just sit with it. Let them ask the questions. And then when they ask a question, only answer what they ask. So if they, for example, say, well, okay, so is this like we're meeting physically? And if you're doing that, just say, yes. You answer that question. Don't put anything else in. And by the end of this, they will ask you the price. And if they do, at first, some people are doing that. My experience is you could say something like, you know, the clients that make the greatest results with me, they ask all the practical stuff, so they really know and understand my offer. And then when they got the whole thing, they ask the price thing. Wait and see if they come and ask other stuff. And if nothing happens, you can just say, is there anything you want to know before you get the price? Probably they will ask a couple of questions. And then when they ask the price question, tell them your price, and you put a normal price in and you put an offer in to help them make or take a fast decision. And this could be something like, well, my normal price is whatever you put in here, and be strict with these things. But I did find out that the people who makes a decision right away are the ones who create the biggest results. So I created a special offer to you to help you make a fast decision. So this means if you decide to commit yourself to this right now with me on the phone, your investment will be then knock off a big amount, because you want this business now and you are looking for people who will make a decision now. And then just total silence. Don't say anything. Let them sit and just boil with this one. Because at this place, if they are interested, they understand that you have something that can help them. Now they're thinking about the price, if this is worth it and all of that. Just let them sit and think. And then just wait. Even put the phone on mute, so you can just sit and even talk if you need to, or even go like if you need to, but just be silent. And then wait for them to answer more questions. To ask more questions, then you answer them, or maybe they begin to come with some objections, and then you help them with that. So, and I won't go much into this now. The thing about the objections is that it's very different from business to business. And what I would do, like I said before, again and again, just write down the objections and then think about how can you come up with a good answer for that, and an answer that could help them. What we want them to do is to help them take a decision here on the call. So from my experience with this one, and this is a mindset. If you're going like, well, they can they will come back in a week or something like that, that's not good enough. So we'll do like, that's why we put in the offer here. So we say, okay, that's okay if you want to wait, but the thing is, I just want to make sure that you understand that the price that I gave you is for registration right now, for us to get started right now. Thing is, people, they will say, well, I need to think about it. So just ask them why you want to think about. What do you want to think about? I'm here on the call. Just let me know any questions and go through the objections with them. So we got a boom here. One is saying, yeah, I want to start up now. So just get them involved right now. Make sure that you send the invoice with them right away. And if you're on a meeting, if you're doing it like that, I would still go like, well, okay, I'll send you the invoice right now. Open your computer and do it. Send the invoice to them, and then just agree with them that they will get it paid right now. And even ask them to do it on the phone. Because we want, when they have, and they are in this mindset, we want to make sure that we got them registered. And then we can start to help them. Boom. Contract, new sales. So this, I hope this will, I trust this will help you a lot. And as I mentioned to you, I went through 2 different kind of doing meetings now. 2 different kind. You got the checklist from the cleaning company, that's one way of doing it. And then you got the template here for the effective meeting. I trust that you will get a lot of things out of this. And if you are a coach or consultant, I would definitely suggest for you to do it this way. And I know there's a learning period with it, but just keep your mind on this is how you're closing people from now on. This will be a whole new way of doing business for you. probably you will have some questions, and just pop up on the Q&A calls, ask them. And also you might have some ideas, pop them in the Facebook group and ask people if they have any solution or ideas for that. Just remember that when people answer a question, if you ask them, they come from their perspective. It's not surely it's your niche, so you just need to have that in mind. So anyway, some more thoughts to you about this. Really remember, it's all about them. Don't talk too much about you. It's not very important for them. Remember, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Ask great questions and then shut up and listen. Stay calm. Leave your emotions outside. It's very difficult to close people. It's very difficult to be the alpha if you get too emotionalized. So let the emotion, really train yourself in not bringing your emotions into the call. And then when emotions come up, be aware of them and write them down. I'm going to teach you some very powerful stuff later on the program. Don't neglect, don't run away from your emotions. If something pops up inside of you, maybe it's in the closing part, or you're out on the meeting and there's one person who's doing something and you can really feel some emotions rising, make sure you take a note of that. You want to track everything. And it's so important, because what you want to do is you want to figure out what is this emotion, and we want to solve it. And again, here with this kind of doing meetings, sessions you could call it. First of all, when I do this, it's like 45 minutes. Bring a lot of value. It's no cost for the person I'm speaking with. It's just to figure out if there's a match. But at the end of this is how I'm doing it. I would suggest you to do the same thing here. Don't accept, well, I'll think about it, or it's a maybe, or anything like this, because that's kind of more like a no. So it's like, it's yes or it's no. Just tell me. And some people, they really have very, very a difficult time when they need to make a decision. But just be like, well, ask me any questions. I'm here to help you so you can make a decision. What is it that you want to think about? Well, I'll think about if this is for me. But what is there more to think about? It's a yes or it's a no. And if they say no, if they really go with maybe, I would say, well, okay, I would take this as a no. And just to be really clear, the offer that I gave you with the lower price, it's only on the call. So it's okay, you're coming back, you're very welcome. And just for us to make totally clear that if you come back, it's not the low price anymore. It's the normal price. Just be an alpha, just be nice, just be calm about this. And again here, I would, if you didn't already do, I would connect with people on Facebook, on LinkedIn, so you're connected with them, because you never know, they might come back. They might come back later on. You never know. Even the people that you have meetings with, I've seen this from Plusrain and also from what I'm doing now. People that maybe not like you or your company or your brand in the beginning, they might come back and say, well, I remembered you from that time. That's good. But we don't want to be in a position where we spend too much time on following up. We don't want to spend too much time on that. If they say no, connect with them. Get them on your mail list if you can do that. And then let them be there. Don't want to put our mind into need to think about 100 people or remembering them and all of that. So you want them to come to you. You want to focus on getting in new clients, and then keep the ones that said no or maybe, and you said no to them, keep them interested or with you by being in your network on LinkedIn and Facebook, and then give them some value there, or your mail list. And then again here, it's very important to understand that no, not everyone will say yes. And that's totally okay. Don't beat yourself up on this. This is like, we're just going through them. When you did 10 meetings, good, you're better. When you did 50 meetings, good, you're better. When you did 100 meetings, good, you're better. When you did 500 meetings, you have built an insane successful business. So it's just about how long it's going to take you. So depending a little bit about your business, not a little, actually a lot about your business, but I would say that your goal is to have like a 20% closing rate. That's the aim for this kind of meeting, but I would also say in the other one you could have that. So say if you're closing better than that, it's good. If you're closing worse than that, there's something you need to take care of. And again, here it's very important that you track all your meetings, put in all the numbers so you know your numbers. So now it's your turn. This time, because we went through a lot, I will let you watch this video to end. We'll soon be ending, and then go do the work. So what you're going to do now, you're going to finish this. You're going to create your template for a meeting. Whatever kind of meeting it is. It could even be a customer coming into your business. If you have a shop or like this, still do a template. Have like a checklist. So you make sure you figure out what is the best way. Take some aha things, take some golden nuggets out of what I've been talking about this video, even if it's a shop, and figure out how do you want this. So you create as much value and get as much out of the customer as possible. So create this, work with this. Don't spend too much time on it. I said maybe spend a half an hour or something like that. No more. Put your alarm on, and no more than that. You could write it down with a pen and paper first, and then go and put it in the Word document or whatever you use. And remember, nothing is perfect. This is to get us going. Maybe you did this 1,000 times, but you didn't have the checklist. Then put it in. Maybe you have a checklist. Then look to it and see if you should change something. But do it. Make sure you do it. And then go out and be a master of that checklist or template. And when you know that it's working perfectly, train your team in doing this. So again, you can download mine as inspiration. So just after this video, create your meeting template and let it be fast and furious. You are creating business. You're not like everyone else. This is not like the B team anymore. You want to do something that's different. You want to close the customer or clients as fast as possible, because that's the way you can help them. So let it be fast and furious. And now you're actually ready to rock the stage. You got your sales system totally finished now. If you went through the whole thing, you got it all. And again, there's only one thing that can stop you. We went through this, and that's no action. You need to do the work. You worked the theory, you took it to the market. You should have been doing outreach already now, which means you get data in, which means that you could begin to correct those data. Track it all. Track the numbers and track each meeting. What happened? Why did it happen? And how can I improve? And then don't be a butterfly. What do I mean by this here? Well, having one call or one meeting and say, oh, this person said this, and then change. That's the butterfly way, because next person is different, having a different day, and will say something else. So once again, what we're looking for here is data. We're looking for the pattern. So when you did 10 or 20 meetings and you see, okay, this thing, it keeps popping up. It's the same question coming. How can I solve that? Then you solve that question, and then you move on. And then you take the next 20 meetings and you say, okay, now this is the next thing I need to solve. Then you solve that thing. Don't solve 10 things. Don't solve a thing every time you had a meeting. That's the butterfly way. You're going to get in data. You're going to look for the pattern, and then you're going to correct one thing. If you correct 10 things, you don't know which one of those worked. Very important. We need to take the straight way here. And again, this could, I know that if I'm doing seminars, I'm always putting people together to do role plays, but ask someone in the group, ask them to, if they want to practice pitch with you or if they want to practice meeting with you. Create your template and then ask them. So agree on a time and a date and a time, and then say, okay, we'll do 1 hour. You got 30 minutes, I got 30 minutes. Explain them what it's about, your niche, what the problems you're looking for are, and then ask them to be your potential customer. Do a role play and then switch after. So you do it, you go through it like you would do the meeting, whether it's a meeting like the PERSONLIG meeting or if it's a coaching or consultant meeting, go through it. And then just ask for 5 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes of feedback. Don't get like a list with 100 things, just get the 5 most important things. Correct them, practice in front of the mirror, practice at night, practice at morning. So when you're out doing the meetings or you're on the phone, you know exactly your pitch, you know exactly the questions you're gonna ask, you've seen it, you are ready to do it. And then remember, world champions are world champions because they do the work no matter what. No excuses. They are the A-team. They are warriors. And that's what you want to be, creating an insane successful business. So you're ready to rock the stage. We went through the whole sales thing here. You're ready. Just go out and do it. And I wish you good luck with it, but also say do the work. The people that are most lucky are the people that do the work. So do the work. So that's it for this video. Powerful one. We went through how was your week and where you needed to be honest with yourself. That debrief with yourself I would do every week. I'm not going to ask you every week. And as I told before, I suggested you to find an accountability partner in the group to that and go through these questions. And we talked about some old ways of selling. We talked about all you should care about. And the old ways of selling, that was all about the salesperson coming out, me, my company, my products. And all you should care about is the person you're with. The potential customer, client, you should care about them. You should care about their problems and their desires, figuring out if you can help them. And then I went through 2 ways of doing meetings that converge. So I went through the PERSONLIG way of doing it, and I went through the coaching consultant way of doing it. So whether you are in one or the other business or can relate to that, you should have a lot of great things that you can take to you, inspirations for you creating your own templates. And like I mentioned, if you own a shop and that's the way you do it, you should still, I really think that you got a lot of stuff from that and still create checklists for your salespeople, for yourself. So you make sure that you get as much as possible as you wanted in your business. And then the latest thing here I shared with you is that you're ready to rock. You're ready to do it. So go out and do the work and understand that each call, each mail, each meeting, it's one step closer to your dream. So that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you got just a little bit out of this and that you're doing your work. And I see you in the next video.